Hello, it's Dr. Allen, and today we're going to talk about cross-marketing. Cross-marketing is the way to have the most effective 12 Ways program, so I want you to pay close attention to this. It's a very short video, but one that's very, very important for your 12 Ways program. I had the opportunity to speak with an expert in marketing that specializes in developing marketing plans for doctors' offices and spas. And I wanted to tap into his 30-plus years of experience in the business. Now, above is what you see that he would consider a good mix of media that should be used to market your practice. By the way, according to his experience, if you're serious about marketing yourself, to have a really nice size, really flourishing practice, you'd want to incorporate as many of these as possible. Now, we're looking here at business cards and brochures, your website, direct mail. Under direct mail, of course, we have letters or postcards. Using email, newsletters, lectures, and screenings. Mass media, this would be newsprint, radio shows, and TVs. Stimulating internal referrals, which of course we feel is the most important. Professional referrals from other professionals, doctors, and so forth. The 12 Ways program, use of press releases, and of course, even telephone marketing. Now, we're not talking about an equal balance of all these things, and we'll look at that in a second, but this is just a list of a mix of things that you should look at to market your practice. From speaking with doctors over the years, some doctors' marketing programs look like this. 100% of their efforts go into business cards, and they hand out business cards, and obviously you could see that's not a very effective marketing tool, and we all know that. Then we have those doctors that send out a newsletter, and that's their entire marketing program. Again, you never want to have a marketing program that focuses on only one aspect. Now here is a marketing program with a little more diversity. This doctor uses newsletters, business cards, brochures, and a website. Again, here we have a much more diversified marketing program, and as a consequence, it's going to be much more effective. Here's the same marketing plan, but the percentage of effort that goes into each of the components is a little different. This particular physician, this particular chiropractor, uses business cards and exchanges business cards on a more frequent basis. This does not necessarily mean he has a more effective marketing program, but rather this is the percentages of marketing that this doctor uses to try to generate more patients. We find that business cards are one of the least effective, and certainly we wouldn't want to see you expand the percentage you spend in giving out your business cards. It's a very, very poor way to generate new patients in your office. And in fact, it's a very, very poor way to even generate leads into your practice. Here we see a chiropractor that uses screenings, lectures, business cards, and brochures. And screenings and lectures are very, very effective, and you could see that most of the marketing pie for this particular doctor is screening and lectures, but they don't really have a good system here to generate leads because they follow up those screenings and the lectures with giving out their business card or their brochures, and neither of those are very, very good lead generating tools. Remember that leads are what we like to say are patients in waiting. Here we see a greater mix of diversity. We have business cards, brochures, website, direct mail, email, newsletters, all the things that we saw in our first slide. And here you see that a different emphasis is given to each one. So business cards may only be 1% of the marketing mix. Newsletters may be 20 or 30%. Internal referrals are the largest chunk. And screening and lectures are also. But the problem here is that you don't really take advantage of the tools that the 12 Ways program offers to get leads, because this is not cross-marketing. Although you're using a lot of different avenues to market your practice, you're not taking advantage of the great 12 Ways system to get new leads into the program, to even get your own patients into the program. And we know that the more patients, the more leads that you get into the system, the more times you're able to market to these people. And the more time you're able to market to these people, the greater your conversion rates. In other words, converting non-patients into patients or non-active patients back into patients. So here we see really how you need to be using the 12 Ways program in cross-marketing. Notice how each of the levels on the outside, lectures, business cards, screenings, mass media, newsletters, internal referrals, and direct mail, are interweaved with each other, with the main hub being the 12 Ways program. What does that mean? That means you want to use your direct mail, postcards, or letters telling everyone about the great 12 Ways system to get them into the 12 Ways program. You want to be able to take your internal referrals, your new patients, feed them into the 12 Ways program. If you're using a newsletter, you want to make sure you put something in the newsletter about the 12 Ways program so you can get their name and email address into the system. Mass media, whether it's an interview, a radio announcement, print media, you want to always mention that you have great tools to offer that anyone who contacts the office can get, and you feed these into the 12-way system. When you're doing your screenings, and of course we did a great tutorial on using the survey, but when you do your screenings, you want to feed people into the 12 Ways program. Business cards, if you're going to use a business card, fine, but remember, business cards will not give you leads. If anything, you want to take your business card, or better yet, get their business card, get their email address, and feed them into the 12-way system. And of course, lectures are a great way to get leads into your 12-way system. So the way the 12-way system has been designed is to take all the different venues of marketing that you're using, all the pieces of the puzzle, and feed them into the 12-way system. Let the 12-way system be the hub so that you could stay in touch with your patients, in touch with your inactive patients, and take the leads that you get from all these different venues in marketing and feed them right into the 12-way system. Once in the 12-way system, you'll be able to repetitively market to these people 8 times a month, number one. Number two, you'll build that association between you and health so that every time they think of you, they think of health, and every time they think of health, they think of you. Now, how many people should be going into the 12-way system on a weekly basis? Simply, you want to take a look at the number of patients you see every week. If the number of patients you see every week are a high number, that means that a higher number should be going into the 12-Ways program. New patients seen per week. If you see 5 new patients per week, 5 new patients should be going into the 12-way system. How many people are attending the lectures that you perform? If you have 15, 20, 25, 30 people attending your lectures, simply 90% of those people, 90% of those attendees, you should get their name, their email address, and we've given you great tools to do that. They should be going into the 12-way system. The number of attendees from lectures you perform outside the office, whatever that number is, they should go into the 12-way system. Number of people at your screenings, if they're in the office or outside the office, it doesn't matter. That's the number that should be going into the 12-way system. If you advertise on the radio, the TV, newspapers, you're doing interviews, that's the number of people that should go into the 12-way system. Look, if you're putting 3 people a week into your system and you're seeing 30 new patients or 30 new potential patients through lectures and screenings and only putting 3, you're not using the tools you have. So you always want to judge how many people you're putting in the system based on what you're doing and how many people you're getting yourself in front of. The more people in the system, the higher the conversion rate. The higher the conversion rate, the more new patients you have. The best way to work the 12 Ways program is to cross-market it. Take all the marketing tools that you're using, feed them into the 12-way system. Once in the 12-way system, you'll have a much higher conversion rate. A much higher conversion rate means you're going to get off the new patient bandwagon. The 12 Ways program was designed to be the hub of your marketing program. Take advantage of it. This is Dr. Allen. I look forward to talking with you soon.